Have you ever thought about a movie that, well, pretty much everyone knows, everyone seems to love? It's always up there on the greatest films lists. But, most people don't realize just how incredible, how unlikely its journey actually was.
Yeah, it's quite something.
We are talking, of course, about The Shawshank Redemption, a film that's not just like a cultural touchstone, but is literally #1 on IMDb's top 250. Has been for ages.
Precisely. And that's our mission for this deep dive, to really get under the skin of that journey.
Okay.
We want to explore why Shawshank still hits so hard, where it came from, that quiet novella origin, and uncover some of the really fascinating details hidden in the story, the characters, the making of it.
Right.
And we've pulled this all together from, the IMDb FAQs, lots of trivia, user reviews, trying to get that full picture.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Because it really is kind of mind-boggling when you look back.
Yeah.
How did a movie that, let's be honest, pretty much flopped at the box office?
Oh, it did.
How did it become this absolute legend?
Yeah.
A film that, for so many people, basically defines hope. So when The Shawshank Redemption first came out, back in 1994, it wasn't exactly setting the world on fire.
Not at all.
The initial theatrical run was, well, a huge disappointment. It made about $28 million in the US, but the budget was $25 million. So barely broke even, really.
And you have to remember the context of 1994. It was an insane year for movies.
Oh yeah, huge.
You had Pulp Fiction, The Lion King, and Forrest Gump, just this unstoppable force.
It's the Gump phenomenon.
Exactly. So Shawshank just kind of got lost in the shuffle. It couldn't get traction against those giants. It almost felt like it vanished before people even noticed it was there.
Yeah, it really struggled to capture that initial buzz, and people have speculated about why that was. Some reasons are pretty revealing about how things worked then.
Like the title.
Yeah, the title itself, Shawshank Redemption. Apparently, it was seen as difficult. This was pre-internet hype, remember? Word of mouth was everything.
And Shawshank Redemption. Well, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? Hard to remember, hard to say, maybe hard to market. Not snappy like, well, Forrest Gump.
Right, fair point. And it wasn't just the title, though, was it? There was also this feeling about the whole genre.
Exactly. Prison drama. It was seen as a bit of a tough sell. Still kind of is sometimes. There's that inherent darkness, right? And specifically, studios back then worried about attracting female audiences.
Yeah.
And Shawshank, well, it doesn't exactly have a lot of prominent female characters.
That's true. Very few.
I think someone counted like 4 credited women and maybe 23 words of dialogue between them.
Wow.
So that lack of, perceived appeal to a whole demographic, that probably didn't help its initial box office either.
But then something amazing happened. The film kind of starts its own redemption story, right? Not in theaters, but like in people's homes.
That's exactly it. It found this massive, really devoted following through home video. It became the most rented VHS tape of 1995. Huge.
Wow, okay.
And the irony is, because it did so poorly at the box office, the rights to show it on cable TV were super cheap.
Ah, right.
So networks like TNT just grabbed it and played it and played it and played it.
Constantly. I remember seeing it on all the time.
Yeah, like one report said TNT aired it for 151 hours in 2013 alone. That constant exposure just let it seep into everyone's consciousness over years.
It's this strange award story too, isn't it? It gets all these nominations, but then nothing.
It really is a paradox, and it tells you something powerful about cultural impact versus, immediate awards hype.
So 7 Academy Award nominations, Best Picture, Best Actor for Robbins.
Yep, and it won.
0.
Zilch. Mostly lost out to Forrest Gump, which just swept everything that year.
Right.
But here's the thing. Despite winning no Oscars, Shawshank has been #1 on IMDb's top 250 list pretty much constantly since 2008.
Wow, since 2008, ahead of The Godfather.
Ahead of The Godfather, The Dark Knight, all of them. And then in 2015, it gets selected for the National Film Registry, culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
So the long game.
Exactly. It demonstrates this incredible long-term impact that just bypasses the whole awards season frenzy. It proves a film's real redemption might not be trophies, but just millions of people connecting with it, year after year after year.
It's amazing. It's like this quiet storm that just kept gathering strength. But what is it about this story, these characters? Why does it resonate so deeply?
Because it's more than just, a good underdog story.
Definitely.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about Andy Dufresne. Andy. Tim Robbins playing the wrongly convicted banker. And he's got this incredible, quiet stoicism, right? This inner strength, this self-control that lets him stay rational when everything around him is just brutal chaos.
Absolutely.
Remember his first night inside? They actually added the character Fat Ass. He wasn't in the novella.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, apparently, just to contrast with Andy, you see Fat Ass completely breaking down, crying, screaming, while Andy is just still.
Composed.
Right. It highlights Andy's composure by showing its opposite. It's hard to show stoicism visually, so seeing someone else not be stoic really emphasizes Andy's quiet strength.
Makes sense.
And beneath that quiet exterior is this just formidable intelligence, resourcefulness. Like, the movie doesn't spell it out, but the novella mentions he smuggled $500 into prison.
Ah, okay. That explains how he got the rock hammer.
Exactly. That $10 he paid Red in 1947, that's like, what, $130, $140 today? Not insignificant inside.
No kidding.
And his financial skills, his banking knowledge, that becomes his currency, his protection. He makes himself useful to the guards, doing their taxes, and eventually indispensable to Warden Norton for his whole corrupt scheme.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
Michael Stevens.
Yep. So even though he's locked up, Andy finds this way to wield kind of power through his mind. It's a key part of how he survives, how he endures.
And the posters. Rita Hayworth, Marilyn, Raquel Welch, they weren't just like pinups on the wall, were they?
Not at all. Pure genius concealment.
And there's that little detail about Rita Hayworth, the first poster. She got divorced in Reno.
Yeah, Reno was known for quick, easy divorces back then, which is just this sharp, kind of painful irony given Andy stuck, convicted for his wife's murder, unable to divorce himself from that false past.
Wow. And how he pinned them up. Yeah. It's just the top corners.
Right, with glue or resin, apparently, so he could just lift the bottom edge easily to work on the tunnel behind it. They were a fantasy escape and a literal escape hatch, all in one.
Brilliant.
That double meaning is so important. And speaking of symbolic moments, that opera scene, incredible.
Yeah, goosebumps every time. And that wasn't even in the book.
Nope, not in King's novella. That was Tim Robbins' idea on set. To actually turn the volume up when the warden tells him to turn it off, defiance.
Wow.
And if you think about what that scene means, it's just this powerful, almost like spiritual moment of freedom, isn't it?
Totally.
Sharing art, beauty in this utterly dehumanizing place. It's like Andy refilling his own soul, but also giving everyone else this tiny taste of transcendence.
And the song itself has its own irony.
Oh, absolutely. Sull'aria c'è Sove Zeffiretto, from Mozart's Marriage of Figaro. It's literally about two women conspiring to expose infidelity.
Whoa. So it directly mirrors Andy's whole situation, being framed for his wife's affair and murder.
Exactly. It adds this whole other layer to his act of rebellion. It's so sharp.
And then the escape itself. 20 years of chipping away with that rock hammer.
Yep. And the novella explains why the hammer worked. Apparently, the prison walls were built with cheap, badly mixed cement, easier to chip away at.
Ah, cost-cutting leading to escape. More irony.
Right. And the infamous sewage tunnel, you know what they used on set for that.
I dread to ask. Please don't say real sewage.
No. Apparently, it was mostly chocolate syrup, sawdust, and water.
Chocolate syrup. Seriously.
Yep, a practical effects solution. Got the look, the feel, without subjecting Tim Robbins to the real deal. Probably appreciated that.
I would think so. And finding the Bible in the warden's safe at the end, with a hammer-shaped cutout in Exodus.
Perfect, right. Exodus literally means to escape, to depart. It's Andy's final brilliant little jab at the warden's hypocrisy. Just perfect.
Then you have Red. Morgan Freeman. The narrator, the guy who knows how to get things.
The anchor of the film in many ways.
And that voice, his narration is just iconic. It basically is the sound of the movie for so many people.
It really is. And fun fact, they recorded his narration before they even started filming.
No way.
Yeah, apparently the initial guide track took him only like 40 minutes. He's just a natural storyteller. But getting the final audio perfect, dealing with sound issues on the recording, that actually took 3 weeks.
Wow. Worth the effort, clearly.
Oh, absolutely. His voice just grounds everything. And it's funny because in the novella, Red isn't Morgan Freeman at all. He's described as a middle-aged white guy, an Irishman with red hair. That's why he's called Red.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, it was apparently Liz Glotzer, one of the producers at Castle Rock, who just thought of Morgan Freeman. Based on his voice, his presence, she just ignored the description in the book.
Huh. Bold move.
And it paid off. But they kept that line in the movie. Remember when someone asks Red why they call him that?
Oh, yeah. He says, maybe it's because I'm Irish.
Exactly. Just a little inside joke, a nod to the book.
That's great.
And another little family connection, Morgan Freeman's actual son, Alfonso, played the younger Red in those parole mug shots.
Oh, cool. And there's that key difference between Andy and Red, isn't there? Andy's innocent, always maintains it. But Red...
Red says it himself, "I'm the only guilty man in Shawshank." The movie keeps his crime kind of vague, just murder.
Right.
But the novella is much darker. He admits he murdered his wife by messing with her car's brakes to get insurance money. And tragically, her friend and her kid died in the crash, too.
Oh my God. That's...
Yeah.
Wow. That really puts a different light on his character, his guilt.
It does. It makes his journey from that deep cynicism towards hope, towards actual redemption, feel even more earned, more profound. It really contrasts sharply with Andy's fundamental innocence.
And Red's journey is so tied to hope, isn't it? Moving from total skepticism to finally daring to believe.
Absolutely, and that harmonica Andy gives him, that's such a key symbol. He'd apparently stopped playing years ago, just given up. Getting it back signifies, well, a flicker of that old spirit returning.
And doesn't the music cues subtly bring in a harmonica when he's going to the tree?
It does. Right as the oak tree comes into view, you hear that faint harmonica in the score. It perfectly underlines that shift in him.
Nice touch.
And his journey to find that tree, which was actually in Ohio for filming, not Maine, like the story says, finding the money, the note.
Yeah.
And then the reunion scene in Mexico, Zihuatanejo, that wasn't in the novella's ending either, which was more ambiguous.
Really? So the movie added that?
Yeah. Apparently, test audiences really wanted to see them reunite. They wanted that closure, that confirmation of hope fulfilled. So Darabont added it. Filmed it down in the U.S. Virgin Islands, actually.
Wow. Good call, I think. It feels necessary.
It really cements their bond and gives you that tangible sense of redemption achieved.
Of course, you can't have redemption without, well, the things you need redemption from. The antagonists, Warden Norton.
Bob Gutton played him so perfectly. The absolute picture of corrupt power hiding behind religion.
Constantly quoting the Bible while running his scams. The hypocrisy is just chilling.
Yeah, using faith as a weapon, a shield for cruelty, truly despicable.
And then you've got Captain Hadley, Clancy Brown. Just pure sadistic brutality.
Yeah, the guard who just seems to enjoy hurting people. Apparently, Clancy Brown was offered help by real corrections officers to make his portrayal more realistic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he turned them down. He said Hadley was so evil, so brutal, he didn't want his performance to misrepresent what actual decent officers do.
That's actually really considerate of him.
Yeah, but the film does show how that kind of brutality, that corruption from Norton and Hadley could just fester in that environment. You know, low standards, fear, covering things up. It created this little ecosystem of injustice.
Switching gears a bit, thinking about the actual making of the film. There are some cool behind-the-scenes details, too, like the prison itself.
Right, the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield. Those exterior shots are amazing. So imposing. Gothic.
Yeah. But they didn't film inside much, did they?
Mostly not, no. Apparently, the real prison was pretty dilapidated, even dangerous in parts. So for a lot of the interiors, the cell blocks, the warden's office, they actually built sets on a soundstage.
Ah, okay. Cheaper and safer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheaper than trying to renovate the crumbling prison, and gave them much more control. Just smart filmmaking, really. Working around limitations.
And the Stephen King connection. He and the director, Frank Darabont, were friends, right?
Yeah, famously so. King sold Darabont the rights to the novella Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption for just $5,000.
Wow. That's it?
Yep. And apparently King never even cashed the check. He framed it and sent it back to Darabont later with a note, something like, "In case you ever need bail money."
That's brilliant. What a great story.
Shows the respect they had. King loved the movie. His only, tiny criticism, he playfully said Andy's escape tunnel looked too perfectly round.
Right.
Yeah, like something out of a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, he joked. But clearly a very minor point.
That's funny. And what about Tim Robbins? I heard he did some method acting.
He did, yeah. Apparently he spent some time in actual solitary confinement to prepare.
Whoa.
Yeah, he knew it wouldn't be the same as being forced into it, obviously, but he wanted to get some kind of visceral sense of that isolation, that experience. You can kind of see that deep endurance in his performance, I think.
Definitely adds a layer.
Ultimately, though, the reason this film lasts, why we're still talking about it, it's that message, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Tim Robbins called it a uniquely non-sexual love story between two men, which really captures that deep friendship, that bond, but it's also about hope, perseverance against all odds.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Exactly. That line just cuts right to the core. It's not just about escaping prison, it's about choosing how to exist, even in despair. Andy building the library, playing the opera, helping others. Those aren't just survival tactics. They're acts of living, creating meaning where the system tries to strip it away.
Yeah.
People often talk about the film like it was a spiritual awakening for them or it changed their life. And you see the impact even in the real world, Mansfield, Ohio, where they filmed. They have a whole Shawshank trail now.
No way. Like tourism?
Yeah. Shawshank-themed wine, redemption pies. It's become part of the local identity. Shows you how deep the film is sunk in.
Incredible. So wrapping this up, the Shawshank Redemption. It's just this amazing story of defying the odds, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Overcoming that initial failure, the competition, to just embed itself in people's hearts all over the world.
Yeah, it found its audience completely on its own terms. Proves that sometimes genuine connection matters more than opening weekend numbers or awards. And look, opinions still vary, right? Some critics might still say it's, I don't know, overrated or a bit sentimental, maybe cliched in parts.
Sure.
While its fans, millions of them, absolutely adore it for that emotional punch, for that message of hope. But whatever your artistic take, its cultural power is just undeniable.
Sure.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? What does redemption really mean in a story like this, set in prison or just in our own lives? How does that hope actually show up? Not just in, dramatic escapes, but maybe in the small, consistent choices we make every day. That choice to keep living, keep connecting, even when things feel impossible.
That's a great question to leave people with. So maybe the next time you watch The Shawshank Redemption, and let's face it, you probably will think about not just Andy escaping Shawshank. Think about what it means to be truly free. Free in your spirit and your purpose, even if circumstances feel confining. And maybe think about the small ways you, yourself, might be putting a little home out into the world, maybe without even realizing it. Thanks for diving deep with us today.